Should you buy the Hyundai Palisade Hybrid? That's what we're going to find out. Welcome to Car Help Corner, where we help you, the consumer, master the process of car buying and car ownership. The Palisade has been completely redesigned for 2026, and one of the biggest changes is that you can now get a hybrid version, which makes it one of the very few large three-row SUVs that you can buy with a hybrid option, next to the Toyota Highlander Hybrid and Grand Highlander Hybrid. And after spending the past week testing it, I'm going to share 10 of the biggest highlights that make this an excellent SUV to go for. And then after, I'll share a few downsides that might make you think twice about buying one. But first, let's get into the highlights, starting with the first one, which is that you get to choose whether to have a regular V6 engine or the hybrid drivetrain. Having that choice is a great thing because there are many buyers that would prefer just to have a conventional, simple engine. In this case, the standard engine in the Palisade is a naturally aspirated 3.5-liter V6 that's connected to an 8-speed automatic transmission. Having a V6 is becoming a rare option these days, so it is a nice thing that you can still get one in the Palisade if you want. Not only is the V6 a great choice for those that just want to have a simple conventional engine, but it's going to be very smooth and quiet because it's a V6, and it's also a great choice for those who need to do towing because it has a towing capacity of up to 5,000 pounds. And of course, it's less expensive than the hybrid, so it does have a few things going for it. But having said all of that, this is a rather expensive vehicle to begin with, and given that the hybrid drivetrain is priced around $2,000 to $5,000 more than the equivalent V6 model, that's not a huge price premium, especially considering how many benefits you get with the hybrid. Which brings us to our first major highlight of the Palisade, and that is the hybrid performance. Even though the V6 has pretty good power, 287 horsepower, the hybrid is even better. It's rated for around 330 horsepower and around 340 pound-feet of torque, which is quite a bit. The reason why you get so much power is because of the 2.5-liter four-cylinder engine that's turbocharged. And not only that, but it also comes connected to a hybrid transmission, a 6-speed automatic that contains 2 electric motors. So with the combined power of that turbocharged engine and the electric motor that is connected to a hybrid battery, you get very strong performance. By comparison, compared to the Toyota Grand Highlander, which is available with 2 different hybrid models, the standard hybrid or the top-of-the-line Hybrid Max, the Palisade Hybrid is much closer in performance to the Hybrid Max. And not only does it have great performance, but it's a very smooth and seamless hybrid system. You really don't notice the engine turning on and off as you drive, as the hybrid system is doing its thing. And because it has a regular 6-speed automatic transmission, it has that conventional feel of changing gears as you accelerate, which is also very nice. But not only is this a great performing hybrid system, but it's a surprisingly efficient one, which brings us to the second major highlight, and that is the fuel economy. Now, having great fuel economy is the main reason why most buyers go for a hybrid in the first place, and thankfully the Palisade does not disappoint. Compared to the V6 engine, which gets just over 20 miles per gallon, the Palisade Hybrid is rated for a combined 30 miles per gallon, or just over 8 liters per 100 kilometers, which is very good fuel economy for a large SUV of this size, and with this much performance. It's not as fuel efficient as the Toyota Grand Highlander Hybrid, but it is very close to the Hybrid Max version. And considering, again, how much power you're getting and how big this SUV is, the fuel economy is pretty impressive. Now, having great performance and fuel economy is great, but anytime a company introduces a new hybrid system, there's always going to be that concern with build quality and whether it's going to have any issues. And thankfully, I don't think that's going to be a major concern here for a few reasons. Now, yes, Hyundai does have a somewhat spotty track record when it comes to the reliability of its vehicles, especially with its gas engines, which have a long history of severe recalls. Thankfully though, their track record for building hybrids is actually surprisingly solid. They don't really have a lot of issues, and their current hybrid models like the Tucson Hybrid and the Santa Fe Hybrid actually have pretty solid hybrid systems. And what's really promising is that the Palisade Hybrid should be even better, thanks to its new updated next-generation hybrid system. Compared to Hyundai's other hybrid system that they've been using for a while now, which just uses a single electric motor between the engine and transmission, along with a separate belt-driven starter, which makes it a much more complicated and less efficient setup. The Palisade's new hybrid system is actually more straightforward and more efficient. As mentioned, the 2.5-liter turbocharged engine is connected to a 6-speed automatic transmission, and within it sits 2 electric motors, a large drive motor and a second starter generator motor, which starts the engine and generates power for the hybrid battery. And because it now has that second electric motor, the gas engine no longer has a starter, an alternator, or a large belt with a tensioner, which makes it far more simple. So in terms of the way it works, it's actually now much closer to both Honda and Toyota's hybrid systems, which is a very good thing. So there are a lot of great things about this hybrid system that look very promising. And not only that, but we also have our next major highlight, which is the very long warranty. As with other Hyundai vehicles, one of the major selling points is that you get one of the longest warranties in the industry, a 5-year comprehensive warranty, and in the United States, a 10-year powertrain warranty. So you do get protected for quite some time. And then we have highlight number 5 of the Palisade Hybrid, which is the excellent driving experience. I have to say, driving this Palisade Hybrid for the past week, it has been a very pleasurable SUV to drive. The ride quality is excellent. It has very smooth, comfortable suspension. It handles very well. The visibility is great. It's just a very nice, satisfying SUV. And it really feels like a step closer to a full-blown luxury SUV. I will say, in terms of its overall comfort, the quietness of the interior, and the handling, this is probably one of the very best driving SUVs in its class. And not only is it a great driving SUV, but then we have highlight number 6, the main reason to buy a large 3-row SUV in the first place, and that is the incredible interior space. Compared to the first generation Palisade, this new second generation has grown in size, expanding the interior space and cargo volume. And it really shows. You get plenty of room in all 3 rows of seats. Adults will have no problem sitting comfortably. Accessing the 3rd row seats is very easy, and both the 2nd and 3rd row seats can slide and recline with power adjustments on the top calligraphy trim. And you have both 7-seater or 8-seater configurations available depending on the trim that you go with. In terms of overall cargo volume when you fold the seats and the cargo space behind the 3rd row of seats, the Toyota Grand Highlander is still a little bit ahead in terms of overall space. But this is still a very practical, spacious SUV, and it should do the trick perfectly fine for most families. And not only is it a very practical SUV, but then we have our next major highlight, which is the incredible luxury feel that it has. It's getting really tough to differentiate regular mainstream vehicles like the Palisade from the full-blown luxury SUVs, and this is a great example of why. The interior of this vehicle is incredibly impressive, especially on the top trims, where you get really nice quality materials like Napa leather upholstery and even a really nice micro suede headliner. The use of materials, the fit and finish, and the overall build quality is incredibly impressive. It's really so nice in here that it really doesn't leave a whole lot of room for luxury SUVs to go a step further. And that's also true when you look at all the features that you get, which is the next major highlight of the Palisade. Highlights include a really nice large dual screen infotainment system which has incredible graphics and a very good user interface with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and even unique features like a built-in dash cam, which is really nice to see. There's a head-up display, a digital rear view mirror, power reclining relaxation seats that are heated and ventilated in both the front and second rows, and heated seats for all 3 rows. And not only do you get plenty of great tech and features, but I really like that everything is surprisingly user-friendly. Not everything has to be controlled on the touchscreen. You still get plenty of conventional controls with real buttons and knobs, which is really great to see and something that many other automakers are no longer doing, unfortunately. It's also very impressive when it comes to its safety features, which is the next major highlight. Some of the really impressive safety features include a really good highway driving assist system. We have an automatic self-parking feature, blind spot cameras in our driver display behind the steering wheel, and a really good 360 surround view camera system. And not only is it impressive when it comes to all of its safety tech, but the safety ratings as well. Next to Mazda, Hyundai has the most models that are rated a top safety pick or top safety pick plus by the IIHS, which is really impressive to see. And that brings us to our last highlight of the Palisade Hybrid, and that is the pricing. Yes, this is an expensive SUV, but considering everything that you get in this vehicle, the pricing really isn't too bad. It's priced between $46,000 to $59,000 US, or between $63,000 to $65,000 Canadian. And considering everything this vehicle offers, from its incredible performance, the spacious interior, the incredible features and tech, and its luxurious feel, you really do feel like you're getting a proper luxury vehicle at a discounted price, which is pretty amazing. Now, even though there are a lot of things that are great with this new Palisade Hybrid, there are some drawbacks that you should be aware of as well. Starting with the first ones, which are the minor ones. Some of the features inside, which are a little bit gimmicky, like the UV sterilization feature, which supposedly sterilizes your devices when you put them inside the center console, and the somewhat gimmicky electronic shifter column, which has a starter button on it, which is pretty unusual. There's also no spare tire, which I know will be bothersome to many, and the wheel size, which are 21 inches on the top calligraphy trim, which does seem rather excessive. Having more reasonably sized wheels would not only be more cost effective, but would also help improve the ride quality as well. But the more significant drawback with this vehicle to me really goes back to Hyundai's reputation when it comes to its long-term reliability. As mentioned, Hyundai doesn't exactly have the most solid track record when it comes to making the most reliable vehicles. They have a long history of severe engine recalls, and they only come in the number 10 spot in Consumer Reports' reliability study. And in the IC Car study of the longest lasting vehicle brands, Hyundai doesn't even make it in the top 10 spots. And we do see some of those issues with the first generation Palisade, which when it launched back in 2020, did have some problems with the electronics and with the drivetrain. The V6 engine was sometimes known for having oil consumption knocking and even the engine seizing, which thankfully wasn't too widespread and seemed to have improved significantly by the end of its production run. And like I said, we do have a new generation V6 engine and this new generation hybrid system, which historically Hyundai seems to do a better job of, which should help quite a bit. And as far as reliability goes, the Palisade is ranked as the third most reliable vehicle that Hyundai makes, according to Consumer Reports. So what is the verdict on the Hyundai Palisade Hybrid? Well, I think if ultimately you're looking for the most cost-effective large 3-row SUV in the segment, you are still better off going with the Toyota Grand Highlander Hybrid, which, even though it's not as powerful or luxurious as the Palisade, it does have better fuel economy with the standard hybrid drivetrain. It has a much better, more proven reputation when it comes to long-term reliability. It's less expensive to purchase and has phenomenal, unbeatable resale value. So if you're looking for an efficient, cost-effective hybrid SUV to keep for the long run, that one is still the far superior choice. That's assuming you're actually able to get one, which is the downside with Toyota hybrids. They tend to have very long waiting periods. You have to be able to place an order and wait up to several months or longer. And if you're even able to get one, chances are you're not going to get a deal on it. So if any of those things are an issue for you, or perhaps you're just drawn to all of the Palisade's appealing qualities, and there are many. It's very luxurious, very comfortable, has incredible features and technology. It's very comfortable to drive, and the hybrid performance is incredibly impressive, from its power to the efficiency. And even though it might not have the same reputation as the Toyota, it does have the best warranty in the industry. I really can't blame anyone for being really drawn to one of these, and if this new generation hybrid system proves to be even better than their last generation, this should be a very solid SUV option. So let me know your thoughts on the new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid. Is this an SUV you would consider buying? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you are planning to purchase a vehicle and you live in Ontario, know that OMVIC is the vehicle sales regulator that's responsible for administering and enforcing the rules that dealerships must follow. To learn more about your consumer protection rights, visit omvic.ca, and if you need any additional car buying advice, recommendations, or help with getting a great deal on your next new car purchase, make sure to visit carhelpcan.com. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.